Hi, this is Steve Mortensen with Miracle Comics. Today I'm going to talk about a different topic other than comics, and that's Lego. Lego is sort of a subculture within pop culture, I wouldn't say it's within comics, but a lot of people who collect comics love Lego, me being one of them. So I'm going to walk through some of my history with Lego and then talk about, my personal story about investing in Lego and just my love of Lego. This is not any sort of investment advice. It's just sort of my experience and, of how I've saved Lego and resold Lego and some tips around that I've gained. So I'm a child of the 70s and 80s. Lego was kind of just starting to take off in the 1970s with some of these sets with, they weren't erector sets, but they kind of looked like erector sets. I'm trying to remember the name of them. But really took off when the space sets came out, and that was in the late 70s, I believe, and they were awesome. They were the first sets, I believe, that had minifigures. So it spurned the movement that later became much more popular in the 90s of collecting minifigures, and I still have a couple of mine from back in the day. So as a kid, I would get them as Christmas presents. I'd build the sets, and then I would take apart all the sets and rebuild them. One time when we were in Denmark, where I have family, we went to Legoland there, and that was when I was around 15. So that was in the early 80s. That was a lot of fun. And I sort of went away from toys and comics during my college years, and then picked it up again as I had a family, and really enjoyed them. So how have I been investing in Lego and buying Lego? So I have a business, which is my Miracle Comics business, and then I also have my personal collecting. I've bought Lego for investing in both areas. With my business, obviously when you buy something, it goes into your inventory. And with my personal, it just goes into the big bunch of stuff that I collect. I love to build sets, so normally what I'll do is, like, if there's a set that I really like, I'll buy like 2 or 3 of them, build one of them, and hold on to a couple of them. It's really important with investing in Legos that you keep the sets sealed and you keep the boxes in really nice shape, because the collectors really want to have pristine boxes, totally sealed, and they're willing to pay a premium for that on sites and shows. So where to buy sealed sets? Obviously, Lego.com is a great place when the sets come out. Sometimes they go on sale and you can get really great deals there. Amazon's another great place that you can find good deals on sets. Sometimes with Amazon, it's the quality of the box is a little touch and go. Sometimes it's been beat up a little bit. So I find Lego.com, they do a good job of shipping things out and keeping things nice. Toy shops, toy shows are always also great. Sometimes get a little expensive. Storage. So storage becomes a really big thing with Lego because the boxes get to be really big, and if you have like 20 or 30 sets, you need a place to put them. I live in the Bay Area, and storage is really expensive if you run out of space in your apartment or home. I personally do have a storage unit that I keep some toys and comics in, but that gets to be really expensive. And it's kind of like, well, it sort of defeats the purpose of the profit from Legos, I have to admit, because the storage fee gets to be really expensive. Whereas if you live maybe in a place in the country where you have your own large storage shed or something where you can keep all the Legos, then all the profits you make from the Legos becomes yours, and you can hold them for like 10 years. 10 years is about the time where you really maximize some of the profit on Legos, if you can like hold them until they retire and then sell them, and you generally can get a nice profit that way. What are some good sets? Star Wars is always generally pretty good. Movie sets like Lord of the Rings have held up really well. Specialty sets like space related sets. Exclusives in general are nice sets, the really big ones. The more expensive the sets, sometimes the best return on the money. Minifigures. Minifigures are like super popular and sometimes make up the value of the set. I have one I can show in a second here. This is an example of my prize minifigure. I have to try to... This is a Boba Fett from... This is from the Cloud City set from 2003, I believe it is. And what makes this Boba Fett particularly valuable is the is on the side. He has a little patch. If you can see that patch right there. Other sets have the same Boba Fett, but they don't have the patch on it. So this guy commands a real premium. So I have 3 sets for auction in about a week going on my site. And I thought I would talk about one in particular. And it's a Hobbit set. 79003. Get a nice view of that. So this set is from 2014. It was around from 2012 to 2014, so it's about 14 years old. The movie was from 2012. Currently sells for about $200. I only paid $51 for it, and I bought a few of these. Again, I've had to pay some storage fees, which really kind of depleted my profit on them, but still, love doing it. So it's about a 200% return over 14 years. Not bad. The actual shell, the green part here, sells by itself for $90 without the minifigures, and the entire used set is about $150 with the minifigs. So these minifigs really aren't super valuable. The instructions alone sell for $10. And in general with Legos, some people will piece them out and sell everything individually. And you can perhaps make more profit that way. I'm going to show another set that I have for sale. This is a Millennium Falcon set from 2015. This is an example of one that really didn't turn out great for me. It sells for about $160. I paid $130 for it, what was about 10 years ago. So very little return on my money. And so why is that? They have made a lot of Millennium Falcon sets. And the one that people most desire is the Ultimate Collector Series. And they're willing to pay a premium for that one. So this one is not an Ultimate Collector Series, which Ultimate Collector Series generally are larger and have more detail. So with Legos, you have to be careful about when they redo and reissue a set. Sometimes the old set goes down in value. So I talked a bit about condition and the minifigs, popularity. Some people will grade their sets, kind of like with comic books. You know, comic books have CGC. The toy grading, toygrading.com, which is AFA, they will grade Lego sets, and sometimes those sets, you know, with the pristine boxes, really command high value. So I talked about where to sell. eBay is really the premier place to sell, and if you're going to be a dealer or just someone that's a hobbyist trying to make some money, you got to protect the boxes. And the best way to do that is to get nice corrugated boxes. You can buy them from your shipping store or other places that sell shipping boxes. You know, pour a lot of peanut around it, wrap it in foam maybe, and make sure the boxes themselves stay intact. You can't just ship the box out without a lot of protection, because the consumer is not going to like the fact that you didn't protect the box from a collector point of view, unless you mention in the ad that this is, you know, has a lot of shelf wear and it's not for investing so much as it is just for opening. So that's it. That's just kind of an overview. Love Legos. I've enjoyed selling them over the years. Hopefully you got a little bit of insight out of this. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to build this channel up with toys and comic books and things that I enjoy. So thanks a lot.